I'm Dr. Scout. I'm from LGBT HealthLink. Each week, in conjunction with the National LGBT Cancer Network and Huffington Post Wellness page on Gay Voices, we do a roundup of the top LGBT health stories and news this week. So let's get to it. In 3 minutes or less, these will be the top LGBT health news stories for the week of September 20th, 2014. Okay, first of all, there's actually a cluster of stories on how we age this week. It's pretty amazing. In one, quality life was found to be negatively impacted by discrimination, while mental health was improved if people accepted their sexuality, but unfortunately negatively impacted if they disclosed that sexuality. Authors note that the differences have a larger impact on the oldest of the old. In another study that showed that 1/3 of people midlife and older had some fear of disclosing their sexual identity, and as a result were less comfortable accessing care services. There's also a needs assessment in Minnesota for elder LGBT people. They explored how most of the seniors had a primary caregiver who was not legally related to them, creating different complications for us. In yet another study, it showed that loneliness was found to be an issue for many LGBT seniors. Luckily, the William Way Center in Philadelphia is pioneering housing for low-income LGBT seniors, which may help alleviate some of the burdens faced by this population. Next story this week from the trenches. A doctor in LA is requesting that CDC prioritize investigation of meningitis, a vaccine-preventable disease, after 11 new cases and 3 deaths were reported among gay men. Next up, delaying puberty. Transgender youth who received hormone suppression in a study were found to have increased levels of happiness and decreased mental health burden. How does transitioning affect parenthood? A study of the relationship between transgender parents and their children found that almost all had good relationships with their children, but that being a parent often delays the gender transition process. I'd actually agree. Next study does provide some evidence for something we probably could have already guessed. Abuse due to transgender identity and depression among trans women was found to be related to substance abuse in a study that also called for better substance abuse treatment for transgender people. In our last study this week, Canadians recommend a campaign aimed at bisexual stigma. A study in Canada again highlights worse health outcomes, increased sexual risk-taking, and more abuse among non-monosexual women versus lesbians or heterosexual women. Authors call for a campaign aimed at bisexual stigma and a sexual education campaign aimed at vulnerable women. That's it. That's your top LGBT health stories for this week. Please stay well. We'll catch you next week. Thank you very much.